Yep.
It must be the other, flipping over to that.
I see nothing.
Just to give it a little bit more time here. Hey, we're out there on Facebook. Thank you guys for being with us. We're just flipping over to the other. Hopefully that should be going in just a second, because there's like a 30-second delay from when it leaves here to when it gets
There I saw something happened.
till it gets there.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
logo's on. Brought to you by EV.
There we are.
There we are. It's moving. It's going. And
Yep.
it's doing an ad. Okay, so tonight we're gonna do. This will be a little bit shorter show, and then after that, you guys can head to the chill room and talk and have some fun with that. But Jay and Brian, what I wanted to talk tonight is people have been looking at some of the new music, the charts and such, and they're like, it's there's like nothing that's staying and nothing that's hitting the charts, and that yes, the whole concept that basically, so you look at it. I mean, as an example. A song, "Trolls," I believe, is what the name of the song was. It jumped to the top of the charts one week. The next week, it drops 50 places, and it's almost completely off the charts. 3 weeks later, and I wanted to. Why is this happening? What is your take on why music this summer is just chaotic? Let's call it that.
Well, for one thing, they've changed the rules, the way Billboard places things. There used to be some involvement, I guess, with merchandise, because some bands were on commenting that Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande would get higher placement because as they sold a CD, it would be attached to merch. So the price would go up, which would mean bigger sale. So it would place them higher. This changed probably back in the 80s when, albums would come out and it would take weeks or months to climb. And maybe something would come out kind of high, but I remember when Metallica came out at #1 on Billboard's chart. And I'm like, how did that happen? And it came down to pre-sales. It had sold like 1 million copies pre. So that went into the new algorithm. The problem today is you have all this music hitting the charts, but you don't have the terrestrial radio stations supporting it the way you did when we were younger. You had a top 40, a dance station, maybe an urban station, country station. Now music is just coming out and it's based on YouTube plays. It's based on streaming. So you're getting, I think I'm pretty good with music, and I can look at Billboard's top 10 sometimes and not know 4 of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Not even know the artist and be like, I got to look up who? Doja Cat? Who's Doja Cat? Or who's this one? Or who's that one? And yeah, it's a learning process, but I just think that the way music is delivered to the masses now, streaming is taking over such a big part of it. And the numbers are astronomically high because kids and fans are restreaming the same track over and over and over.
And that was actually one of my questions was, is this because of this COVID situation and kids, most of them don't have their summer jobs. And even a lot of adults aren't doing a job, or they're at home where they are listening to the radio station or online, their streaming service. Is it something that people are able to get burned out on a song instead of it taking 2 months to get burned out on a song? They're going to burn out on a song within 5 days.
I think that very well could happen. You and I and Brian could joke about Remember When, Every Breath You Take by the Police. You got sick of it because it started climbing the charts and then it hit MTV. And in those days, MTV was a big delivery of music. And you would see the video constantly and you're like, oh, I've had it with this song. This is like MTV on steroids because now you have a video on YouTube. And if you guys have ever looked at trending, some of these new artists that are in the top 10, they'll put a video out on Monday that'll have 40 million views by Tuesday. It's astronomical. Then you add streaming on Spotify and different mediums. And I think these tracks are come and go. And I think that's how they deliver music. No one's putting out a 20-song album or a 12-song album. They're putting out a song and they're getting it remixed, and then they're putting out another song. And then they're going to tour and sell merch and VIP packages. And, what's your take, Brian?
Well, what's the question? I got a little lost on that.
Yeah. The concept that the kids and people who are into the music today are just getting bored of it so quickly for some reason that we're
sure.
having such a turnover.
That's nothing new. I think that we were always kind of that way, but I remember being that way when I was a younger person, not because I particularly was done with the music that I was hearing, but I was really looking forward to what was next. Like the evolution of music was so exciting to me. And I have made an observation, and it's just my observation. But if you played me a song from 1982 that I've never heard before, and played me a song from 1987 I'd never heard before, I could pretty much tell you which was an 82 song, which was an 87 song. I think I could do that. If you played me a song that was recorded in 2005 and a song that came out last week, I might not be able to, because it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of progression in music. Things haven't changed a lot. They kind of have to stay. It's like this safe zone. And every time something different happens, it gets criticized on social media and kind of, I guess, taken down before it even has a chance to take off. So I just haven't heard anything new. It's kind of monotonous. And
yeah, we're restarting. Excuse me, Brian. The show's restarting on YouTube.
Restarting?
Like the countdown clock's up again.
No.
Yeah, it's on there.
It's
I'm
on.
seeing it.
I don't know what did you refresh? Everything looks
no,
like.
I'm looking at the 10 suddenly it skipped a show. I'm on 10 questions and 40. All right, I apologize, guys.
I don't know what you're doing.
Say, we're good. Everything looks good there.
Never mind.
Really, I mean, I'm slow to pick new music that I like now. I'll say that. And one artist that I've learned a lot about in the last 24 hours, Harry Styles, the band, is really good. I've heard this kid's band. I didn't know he was the kid from One Direction, but I really like what I'm hearing. It's good stuff. I don't know if that's going to be anything that's going to be relevant to me as a wedding DJ, but I enjoy it. And I can see myself, taking a look at his catalog a little more and looking forward to tracks that he has coming out. There's some new disco stuff that I've heard that I really enjoy. As far as discovering new music, though, when it comes to personal discovery, I really look to SiriusXM on a lot of stuff. Like I'll listen to BPM, I'll listen to Revolution sometimes. Once in a while, even 54 will have some new disco shows on the weekends, playing some amazing stuff. They have Top 40 radio on there. But when it comes to, I guess, the general gig stuff that I do, if I'm looking for, what the crowd's going to react best to, I kind of leave that to the crowd and let them tell me where to go. They ask for it, I play it. If they don't ask for it, I usually don't, unless it's come to my attention. I think it's really worthwhile, and I want to turn a crowd on to it. It's not like you used to
having it though. I mean, I'll go to promo only pool.
Sure.
If I was doing weddings like I was normally, at least once a week, if I've got a wedding that week, I'll go and check, because they're releasing new updates weekly. And I'll double check what's going on. Yeah. Well, yeah. And I'll see whether I need to pick up, this week's newest hits that have already been released, but they've added to it. Is there some song that I'm hearing or people are talking? I mean, I remember when Bruno Mars came out with Uptown Funk, and it was like all the rage on Facebook, and like every DJ was calling it as the new track. I'm like, okay, let me get over to promo only pool and find this track, and I do that quite a lot.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that's a bad example, because that song still gets played a lot, but a lot of the new stuff, it's pretty amazing to me, the songs that people like. Doja Cat, I've gotten a lot of requests for Doja Cat. Maroon 5 is still going with some of the newer stuff they're dropping, that even if I'm not a huge fan, I don't, we've had this discussion. I'm not at a wedding or a gig to play music I love. I'm there to play music in a way that I think will enhance the evening or the day or whatever. But I have to be beholden to a crowd if I'm willing to go out there as an open format DJ, to be prepared. I've never heard of the new Harry Styles Watermelon track. And there,
Only is a good one, but so is Top Hits USA, where you just get this stuff. You put it on your computer. You have no idea what the hell it is. But then you're at a gig, and then somebody says, "Hey, you got that track?" And you're like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then you type it in. It's like, actually, I do have that track,
Mm-hmm.
and you can play it. That's usually how I end up doing it with new music.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, you can't listen to everything. It would be nice, but if you did, you wouldn't take everything, and you wouldn't be as prepared because you'd end up not, wanting to always bring things and or play things.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
My computer's showing that our show ended at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. That's why it kicked me over to the next.
That was the first. That was the very first when it went to the wrong feed.
Okay.
The actual link for the show that I had shared earlier. I had to reconnect to that one for some reason. The connection when I set it.
Okay, this one's saying, okay, there I am.
Yeah, so we got the first 2 minutes of us not finding the right one.
See what happens when you break our schedule? We get all confused.
Completely flustered. That's what we are, but that's okay.
That's flustered.
I even gave myself a haircut for this show. Come on.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm not saying we've been in quarantine a long time, but this is maybe the 5th time he's done this. Like, this kid's on a monthly haircut thing.
I think it is number 5. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is. The first one I thought was a threat or the ramblings of an insane man, but now it's just
just keep doing it.
Has Brian cut his hair yet? It's like the groundhog.
But you know why I do it?
Funny Phil hair.
I'll tell you why I do it. It's not because I gotta have it short. It's because A, it makes it look thicker on top because it's totally not, and B, my hairline's way back here, so it goes up here and like this, so I look like a guy my age if I don't cut it. If I cut it shorter, it takes a couple of years off because I lose that goofy hairline.
Now you're more the lead singer of that band that plays CBGBs on a Wednesday.
Right.
79 kind of thing. Who's this band? I don't know. They're from like Milwaukee, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, because look at his hair. He's got to be an artist.
Yeah, you're gonna have black jeans, the suspenders, the high top Converse, and no shirt, and BSR tattooed across your chest in blood.
John, did you have more things you want to ask us about new music?
Oh yeah. I forgot John was here. Sorry.
That's really the angle, because there's people who are asking about it, and I think that there's different things that are coming to play this summer where people are rotating through, and yet there's still some songs that, like the number 3 track right now on Billboard is Blinding Lights, that's been on the charts for 30 some weeks, and it's been in that top 5. It's just, there isn't I think there's 2 things we're having is people are getting sick of some of the songs. It becomes hey, did you hear this one? Everyone gets excited and it shoots up the charts. And then everyone realizes that it's a piece of crap song and it shoots back down the charts. And we just don't have a ton of quality songs out there.
I tell you what I've discovered, and this has been my observation for quite a while, but it's becoming more and more obvious to me that new music isn't necessarily as important as it used to be. Because it used to be very important, and you wanted to, the hot new track, it's got a new sound, it's different, it's whatever. I really think good music is where we really should be focusing these days, because what's new isn't always good or appropriate for what we're doing, even if it's a younger person event. And something else I will say is that I do believe that the powers that be in the entertainment industry recognize this, because they're coming up with biopics like Bohemian Rhapsody, and when that happens, everybody's going Queen crazy. Or they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy and that soundtrack, and they're going crazy. Now, again, I'm a little slow sometimes, but I've discovered that they are working on a Bee Gees biopic. Same guy who did Bohemian Rhapsody, same director. And I'm thinking to myself, look what happened when they did Bohemian Rhapsody, or even, to some extent when they did Rocket Man. The Elton John stuff kind of came back a little bit. So we have some things to look forward to with some older music and a younger generation rediscovering some of this older music, and hopefully something more than staying alive,
I say with a lot of confidence, and it's not an age thing, and it's not a critical thing, it's a realistic thing. I would put as much money as I could muster that in the top 40 today, going forward, there might be 1 or 2 songs that someone could name in a year. Maybe 2 years.
It just doesn't have relevance.
But that's the thing. And like I said earlier, the way music is delivered now, it's delivered by sales and popularity. There's no one going to the club this summer to hear tracks that's then streaming it that night on the way home,
Right.
or actually investing $1.29 and buying it on Monday.
Even if they wanted to, they weren't doing it. They're not
Right.
doing
So
it.
now the industry has got to turn around and say, okay, let's flood the market with the new Post Malone song. I mean, I think Post Malone's really good. I don't know that I think he's worth having 3 songs in the top 40 for the last year and a half good. He's not Jimi Hendrix. He's not, a lot of people that you look at as gods. But in today's society, the short attention span of most younger kids with music and not having any baseline. This isn't like when you and I talk about music and go, I remember when I bought this. There is no I remember. There is no concert. There is no I'm wearing a T-shirt of a band I've actually seen or want to see. This is just take it as it comes, and it's being thrown at people, and they grab it and like it. I worked with a trap bass DJ a couple weeks ago, really well known in his industry. And we were talking about music and bass music, something that I never play. And he gave me some music of his. I said, wow, thanks. And I'm listening to it, and I played it for the kids. And literally, Colin, my 14-year-old's like, yeah, I was into that a few months ago. Well, what are you into now? Like
Something different.
Yeah.
I was into Black Sabbath in high school. I still am.
Right.
But I don't think my kids are going to come back to me and say in a year or two, man, Post Malone. I think they're going to be like the next.
Well, maybe. I mean, I remember there were certain things that didn't have a lot of staying power when I was younger. Some things did. I remember the one that sticks in my mind that I got real excited about when I first heard it, but then I couldn't wait to not hear it anymore, was Regina's Baby Love. There was something about that song that I really liked when I first heard it, and then I couldn't wait for people to stop playing it, and I don't know why. But I totally get it. When you're into one thing 1 minute, and the next minute it's like, you're done. You don't need it anymore. You don't want it anymore. To this day, I don't want to hear Regina's Baby Love.
Right, but that was a choice that we had. I don't think there's music out long enough to make that choice, because I think the music is delivered so quickly and so fast. And I mean, again, I think you and I and John are pretty qualified for this. I've got Billboard's top 100 in front of me. Yep. There's 6 artists within the top 20. I'm sorry. I'm a really good DJ, in my opinion. And I don't know who these 6 artists are. Right. I've never heard their friggin' names. And I'm
it's not a thing. The thing today.
Because Billboard used to reflect what you heard.
This is the thing today.
Yeah.
And there's politics, and there's TikTok, and there's Twitter, and there's Facebook, and there's YouTube. This is just not, music isn't the thing, but we are kind of the keepers of the light, and I'm having fun with that.
I think it would solve a lot of problems.
The real question I have for you, Jay,
yes,
and is, did you see Wham live?
I did. Yeah.
Wham. Not George Michael, but Wham.
No, I saw Wham. They opened.
They opened for Lords of Acid.
It wasn't Lords of Acid.
Oh, okay.
It was around the time I saw Thompson Twins.
John Caffrey and the Beaver Brown Band, perhaps?
No, it wasn't them either.
Okay.
I want to say I saw him on a bill with Howard Jones and.
Oh, that was early.
Oh, man.
Because by Make It Big, they were headlining. They weren't opening for anybody.
Right. No, the shirt I got separately. I didn't get it at the show.
Oh,
I saw Duran around the same time. Sure, but that's the thing. There's a lot of bands that you could see. My kids have no interest, have zero interest in going to concerts. I'm like, we should go to a concert. Why? They're right here on the phone. I'm like, no, when you're there in person, it's so amazing. Why? I'm like, because you stay up all night to buy tickets, and you drink Yukon Jack in line because it's freezing, and you get your Aerosmith tickets for $10, and whoa. And then you go, whoa, $300 for a ticket? Wow, $1,800 for a meet and greet?
It's funny you say that, because, I mean, if you were to play me, if you were to have had played me, and I don't listen to the radio, by the way, I don't listen to Top 40 radio, but if you were to play me the Harry Styles song, Adore, I don't know if I would have had an opinion on it, but I saw it.
Right.
Because I could see that it wasn't it wasn't like, the Wrecking Crew in there playing the music. It was actually a drummer.
Action is one of those groups that massive and they'll make billions of dollars. It's sort of like Jonas Brothers. The only thing was, I really like what the Jonas Brothers did solo more than what they did together. Like Dance is
thought,
But I'm just saying, like, there's a trajectory of these artists. It's like, do well as a group, break apart, do more. I mean, we've seen this from day one. We've seen this all going back to like in the 60s where bands go together, break off, go solo, come back, do the reunion, break off, go solo, come back, do a big the Eagles.
George Michael didn't do it.
Well, he's dead, but
No.
you know, sadly,
Well, he didn't do it before he died.
no, he didn't. And I'm sure they offered him a boatload of money. The problem was,
And by the way, I saw
he was
I saw
more
the
of
Faith
Wham
88
than
tour. Thanks
Andrew
for
was.
asking. I saw that. Yeah.
I think he was more of Wham than Andrew was. It wasn't a split.
No.
I mean, Tears for Fears, there's like nobody can tell who's who anymore.
You know what George Michael did, which I think was really cool, because he's like, look, we're not going to do this anymore. But
He
here's what I'm
took
going
care
to
of
do.
Andrew Rick.
You know how he did it? He gave him a writing credit on Careless Whisper and it took care of him from the rest of his life. That was all he needed to do.
Oh,
He didn't write; he had nothing to do with it.
that's all
but
you need.
He gave him that writing credit, and now Andrew's still being taken care of from that one writing credit. It's pretty crazy.
No, I think he's an example of an amazingly talented artist who was never given. I think he was given a lot of the credit while he was alive, had problems, but through it all had never lost touch with just how amazingly gracious he was as a performer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had problems, but you know, I don't think you should hold that against the artist.
He was more impressive as a performer than he was a bathroom attendant.
He was not a good bathroom attendant. No.
No.
He had a problem with the tips.
I like making John laugh. It's fun.
You like that one, Brian? He had a problem with the tips.
No,
Yeah.
that's a bad.
Yeah.
No, it's bad.
Very nice. I try to help.
It's so late. I'm blurry eyed.
Exactly. So just to kind of wrap up the new music thing, I went over to our friends over on YouTube and looked at the trending and looked at the music that's trending. And of the top 10,
Roddy Ricch.
What's that?
Roddy Ricch, I bet. That guy's always trending, and I've never heard of the guy. I've heard of him, but
no, I don't see. Oh, there we go. We have to come all the way down to probably about the 15th song that was released a week ago that has 8.3 million views. But there's numerous songs. I mean, the highest is about 41 million views from a Dixie D'Amelio. Melio? I'm not sure. Be Happy is her video, but it looks like a attractive young lady in a pool. So that's probably gotten her at least half of.
I was going to say there's 4 million.
There's one, but right now, this 4 days ago, Juice WRLD dropped some tracks, and those have gotten 4 to 5 million. And I believe those are the kind of things I think that throw off that the kids get into that. They are like, oh, they check it out, and by the time it would get to where it would hit the charts and it would hit it so fast, and the kids who liked it, 10 million people listen to it. It goes up the charts, and then they've all like, well, now we're tired of it, and it's going down the charts just about as fast with a lot of the music, which makes it.
I mean, that's posthumous, so that will either linger on or, like you say, be a quick hit and run because it's his album after death.
Yeah. I think
just to reiterate what we were talking about earlier as far as how to keep track of the new music. I think most of the time you can just let your client base take care of that for you. Have a solid music service. Get it, keep it.
Right.
And you never know. There are songs that come out and they get released as a promo on something and they don't catch traction for another year and a half sometimes. So hang on to those. But get yourself a solid music service, have it. And if it's searchable, if you need to pull it up, you can. But I don't know. It just seems so difficult not to like pick a hit or pick a song that's going to resonate with our audiences. It's different than it used to be.
Very much.
So. I know they're going to like.
That's hard. That's near impossible. In pop music, that's almost near impossible to do because it's trend set and so stuck. That Bright Lights track I just noticed is now up to number 2. But I think that song not only did well and is a good song, but it became the end of year graduation song in a video for a lot of schools and people. And then somebody finds it again. And, things just ping pong around.
Has anybody, speaking of new music, has anybody seen anything about the Bill and Ted Face the Music soundtrack? Because I've seen nothing.
No, I haven't.
And there were a couple of pretty cool songs from the first movie.
Yeah.
Big
I would
Pig
expect they'd
Breakaway.
go with the hard rock this time too.
Wasn't there a Steve Vai song in there? Do you want to rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went with the
Yeah.
hard rock stuff.
Well, they did Breakaway by Big Pig too. So
It was
that was
actually
a hot
the first
track.
time that Warrant ever had a song out. Before they were even signed, Warrant had a song released on the Bill and Ted soundtrack. And
So I
then-
mean, these movies sometimes can really trend songs,
oh yeah,
new or old. But I would think that movie
Look
might
at
have some songs
Gold.
behind it.
you know, look at Justin Timberlake. Can't Fight the Feeling. I mean, that's a
Can't
movie.
stop the feeling. That's why I'm here.
What's that?
Can't stop the feeling.
See, that's why you're
I'm here.
That's why he's here.
this
Yeah.
close.
You're so,
I'm always within 7 inches of the real answer.
but not quite there.
And all I make up is 7 inches.
Alrighty, well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up for the main show tonight, keeping it a little bit shorter because of being so late.
Ball
this evening.
sailing from kids. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll stop.
Pretty sure we're locked down again.
Yeah, so
Welcome to California.
for those of you who've got some time and you want to hang out some more, go out to the Chillroom, djntv.com/chill. That is open tonight. I'll have to reset that, I suppose, in a few days. I bet it's getting to that time again.
Please do, because otherwise they start messaging me like in panic mode.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
I'm like, John will take care of it. Don't worry.
I have it set on
Yeah,
the calendar.
when?
So it
Oh my God!
we'll make
Is
sure.
it gone?
Oh, it's-
Was it my fault? Was something I said? No, calm
No,
down. Calm down.
I'm down.
they've been working on it, keeping the room clean and doing a good job with that. So,
But I don't think any of us thought we'd still be in there now.
isn't that the truth? Yeah, that's. What it is.
By the way, it's now been what, 5 months, going on 6 since we were together in Vegas.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Well,
It's
at
going to be
least
6
fine.
months next month. Does it seem like that even happened this year?
Yeah.
Like that to me, that event with the
It
three of
seems
us
like
together seems like it
forever
was
ago.
like
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Facebook meme where the old man is sitting in the rocking chair and the little kids are sitting around the rocking chair, and the kids say, "Grandpa, tell us about 2020." And he says, "Well, it all started with a chicken sandwich."
Sandwich.
Nice.
Because it really did. That chicken sandwich, that was that long ago.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. What's a-
Yeah. No, I got
like,
you.
where's the beef? No. Yeah, it
No.
seems like it, but it's not. That was actually, yeah.
Someone had one the other day that was literally like, okay, that's it. I'm going to put up, what was it? I'm going to dress for Halloween. I'm going to go around and ask for candy. I'm going to decorate the house, open some presents, and call it a year.
Just get it done. Move on.
You just get it done now. Just
It's
like
done.
get everything else off the table.
Time to get it over. All right, gang. Thank you much again for being with us tonight. Head out to the Chill Room, djntv.com/chill. That's the Chill Room, and they will be there to chat and have some fun this evening. And we
Just
will
a
catch
few
you
minutes.
next week. Good night, everybody.